But we never worried. We never took marriage was a byproduct of what we were doing. Our business was show business. Although Gracie, off stage, you'd never know she was in show business.
Gracie Allen was much more than a beloved comedic star. She was part of one of entertainment's most extraordinary partnerships. Known for her unforgettable wit and zany charm, Gracie's life and marriage to George Burns held secrets that only emerge with time. What was behind their unforgettable chemistry, and how did their personal bond shape their legendary act and lasting legacy? Their story is filled with laughter, devotion, and surprises that go beyond the spotlight. After more than 6 decades since her passing, new truths about their marriage challenge what fans thought they knew, revealing a uniquely enduring love that defined not just a career, but a lifetime together. A legendary but mysterious partnership. Gracie Allen and George Burns were more than a comedy duo. They were a legendary partnership that redefined show business. While millions admired their onstage chemistry and comic timing, few fully understood the depth of their personal connection. Their marriage wasn't simply a partnership of convenience or business. It was built on mutual respect, affection, and a shared sense of humor that transcended their performances. Behind the laughs and punchlines lay a bond that anchored their lives through decades of fame and challenge. Their relationship was marked by an unusual intimacy, blending their professional and private worlds seamlessly. George played the straight man to Gracie's whimsical character, yet offstage, he cherished her wit and warmth in ways that made her unforgettable beyond her comedic persona. Audiences saw their banter. What they missed were the moments of tenderness and support that solidified their union. This dynamic fueled not only their comedy, but their enduring marriage. Despite the public visibility of their act, the truth about their marriage contains layers of nuance rarely discussed openly. Stories circulated of a closeness that many found inspiring yet puzzling. How two such different personalities could complement each other so perfectly. Their marriage was not without its complexities, but it thrived on a foundation uncommon in show business: genuine love intertwined with shared passion for their craft. Some aspects of their relationship were deliberately kept private, adding a layer of mystery. George once confided in close friends that certain details of their bond were meant to be protected, a treasure meant only for those who truly knew them. Over time, this secrecy added to the legend, with fans left wondering about the real story behind the smiles and jokes. What was held back then is only beginning to be understood now. Gracie's death in 1964 closed a chapter in entertainment history, but it also left many unanswered questions about their life together. Tributes praised not only her talent, but the extraordinary partnership she had with George. Yet, beneath the public mourning, private memories and truths waited quietly, revealing a relationship that was far more than just a professional collaboration. Their story invites reflection on what makes a truly lasting partnership in the often fickle world of show business. It challenges assumptions about celebrity marriages, showing how humor and love combine to withstand pressures that might have broken others. Their legacy isn't just laughs. It's a unique blend of devotion and artistry rarely seen before or since. This partnership set a standard that few could match, inspiring countless performers, but also intriguing those curious about the human side of fame. For decades, fans celebrated their on-screen persona without fully grasping the personal sacrifices and deeper connections underneath. Now, as more details emerge, it becomes clear just how remarkable their union really was. Even as their public laughter died down, the factors fueling their success and marriage took root many years before, starting with the woman who would become a comedy icon. Early life and rise of Gracie Allen. Born Grace Ethel Cecile Rosalie Allen on July 26, 1895, Gracie Allen grew up with a natural spark that would later light up stages and screens. From an early age, she exhibited a unique blend of wit, charm, and comic timing that set her apart. Her beginnings were modest, but her ambition and talent soon guided her toward the demanding world of vaudeville. This environment became the training ground where she honed her skills and developed the distinctive personality audiences would learn to love. Gracie's humor was unconventional, blending zany ideas with a seemingly scatterbrained delivery that masked sharp intelligence. She mastered the art of subtle timing, turning absurd nonsense into clever comedy. This combination made her stand out in an era when vaudeville was crowded with talent, and gaining attention was a challenge requiring something truly special. Her natural charm made her not just funny, but profoundly relatable, drawing audiences into her playful world. Her early career included performances with her sisters Bessie and Pearl as part of a vaudeville act, often referred to as the Allen Sisters. This experience taught her discipline and stage presence, setting the stage for her later collaborations. Traveling from town to town, Gracie learned to read audiences and adjust her delivery, skills that would prove indispensable as her career progressed. These formative years were full of hard work, setbacks, and small triumphs, shaping her into a consummate performer. By the time she crossed paths with George Burns in 1922, Gracie was already on an upward trajectory, but still searching for the defining partnership that would elevate her career. Their meeting proved serendipitous, a perfect match of talents that sparked immediate chemistry. Gracie's background in vaudeville and experience on the stage prepared her to capitalize on this opportunity. Her rise from vaudeville to national success was kind of marked by moving into radio during the early 30s, and honestly, it felt like everything shifted fast. Radio gave this fresh platform where Gracie's distinctive voice and style could reach millions at once. By 1932, she and George Burns co-launched The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show, and it really took off, becoming a massive hit almost immediately. Her portrayal of this scatterbrained but lovable housewife became, iconic. It showed how she could mix innocence, intellect, and plain absurdity into this winning formula that just worked. Gracie also made her film start in 1929. She showed up in shorts, then later moved into feature films, so her presence extended beyond just live appearances and radio. Even with that on-screen momentum, her real strength stayed anchored in live audiences. Her humor felt whimsical, sure, but also strangely, deeply human. That kind of adaptability made her look like a multifaceted entertainer, not just a one-trick performer. Across those years, Gracie's climb reflected more than personal talent. It mirrored the shifting landscape of American entertainment. The whole scene. She adjusted smoothly to new media formats, helping push and pioneer the shift from vaudeville into radio and later television. Her whole path became this example of resilience plus innovation, which lines up pretty well with the durability of her personal and professional bond with George Burns. Even though her comedic persona was playful, offbeat, and sometimes a bit sideways, Gracie stayed grounded in the everyday realities of trying to build a career during an era that put special obstacles in front of women in comedy. Her success wasn't just charm, it was also determination and some careful, savvy navigation of the entertainment industry. And her story, if you really look at it, shows the complexity behind what the public saw as effortless joy. That beginning led inevitably to the real spark, her meeting with George Burns, a moment that would change both of their lives forever. Meeting George Burns and the start of a duo. In 1922, during a vaudeville performance in Newark, New Jersey, Gracie Allen met George Burns, a young comedian also performing on the bill. From the moment George saw Gracie, he recognized something extraordinary about her presence and timing. He was captivated not only by her comic style, but by her unique ability to engage and charm an audience effortlessly. This encounter sparked the beginning of a legendary comedic and personal partnership. George approached Gracie with the idea of of forming a comedy duo, sensing their personalities would complement each other perfectly. Gracie, flattered and intrigued, agreed, and together they began a collaboration that quickly grew beyond the stage. Their act paired George as the straight man with Gracie's whimsical, unpredictable character, a dynamic that played off their real-life rapport. This balance became the cornerstone of their success. Their contrasting personalities strengthened their chemistry. George provided a calm, rational foil to Gracie's quirky, scattered persona, creating a rhythm that audiences found irresistible. Offstage, their relationship blossomed into romance, with shared values and laughter forming the foundation. They connected deeply, understanding and inspiring each other both professionally and personally. The early days of their partnership involved long hours of practice and performing in less glamorous venues, but their combined talent soon began to draw attention. Audiences responded to their dynamic, and the pair gained momentum through hard work and genuine connection. They developed routines that showcased Gracie's unique humor and George's steady presence, crafting a style that was fresh and engaging. Their courtship was filled with laughter and those late-night conversations too, kind of cementing a bond that felt half like friendship maybe, and half like love. George saw in Gracie not only a gifted performer, but also this muse that ignited his creativity and somehow brought him joy. Their relationship was built on mutual admiration and respect, and it really showed up in their performances. You know how it is. On January 7, 1926, they married in Cleveland, Ohio, and officially entered a life and a partnership that intertwined love with their shared passion for comedy. The marriage was not just symbolic, but it was a real blending of their personal and professional worlds. After that, they moved forward as both husband and wife, and also as one of show business's most iconic duos. Together, they pioneered a kind of comedy that would influence generations, bringing theatrical charm along with that fast wit to radio and later television. Their union became this strong example of how a partnership can elevate art and enrich life at the same time. The way their personalities balanced out, plus their skills and affection, made their act stick in people's minds. And their marriage felt sturdy. And beyond their work, George often spoke fondly of Gracie as the sexiest woman he had ever known, not only for looks, but for intelligence, humor, and heart, too. That praise reflected the real depth of their connection and the strength of their bond beyond the stage lights. Their shared chemistry was palpable and genuine, engendering laughter and love in equal measure. From this foundation, their rise into stardom and cultural icons followed, a journey propelled as much by personal devotion as by comic genius, building their comedic empire. From modest vaudeville beginnings, Gracie Allen and George Burns quickly established themselves as a dynamic duo whose chemistry on stage was undeniable. Their comedic talents complemented each other perfectly, with George often playing the straight man to Gracie's whimsical and unpredictable character. This balance caught the attention of audiences nationwide, leading to opportunities beyond live theater. Their partnership soon expanded into radio, where their voices brought new life to their act and introduced them to millions of listeners. In 1932, the pair launched The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show on radio, a program that became an instant success. Gracie's portrayal of a lovable, scatterbrained housewife endeared her to listeners, while George's steady, grounded presence kept the act relatable and sharp. The show's popularity cemented their status as top-tier entertainers and paved the way for future transitions into film and television. Their blend of humor, timing, and genuine affection created an atmosphere many found irresistible. As the 30s progressed, Burns and Allen moved into films, with Gracie making her debut in 1929. They appeared in several shorts and feature films such as The Big Broadcast and A Damsel in Distress, further broadening their audience. Yet, despite the allure of the silver screen, their true strength remained in live performance and interactive comedy, where Gracie's direct connection with audiences shone brightest. These experiences across multiple mediums showed their versatility and willingness to adapt with the times. The arrival of television in the 50s marked another significant phase in their career. They seamlessly transitioned to the new medium with The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show, which ran from 1950 to 1958. On television, their charm and comedic timing reached an even wider audience, and the show's format highlighted the chemistry that made them so beloved. Their ability to keep humor fresh and relatable made them pioneers in the early days of TV sitcoms. Through all these changes, their marriage remained a central pillar. The personal bond they shared informed their performances, adding a layer of authenticity rarely seen in entertainment. Audiences sensed the real affection between the two, and that connection made the comedy all the more engaging. Their life on and off stage was deeply intertwined, forging a partnership that was as resilient as it was hilarious. Behind the scenes, their dedication to craft was evident. Long hours, rehearsals, and a keen attention to audience reactions fine-tuned their routines. George's support of Gracie's unique comedic voice empowered her to take center stage in their act. This mutual respect and care for each other's talents created a foundation for their sustained success. Beyond their individual skills, their story became one of teamwork perfected over decades. They navigated the demanding entertainment industry together, weathering its highs and lows as a united front. Their ability to evolve with changing audiences and technological shifts was a testament to this dedication. They weren't just performers. They were partners in every sense. Their empire of comedy was built not only on laughs, but on trust, loyalty, and deep understanding. The world knew them as a duo that could make anyone smile. But none of that would last without the strength of their bond behind the scenes. Their journey showed how marriage and comedy could combine to create something timeless. The success of their comedic empire was inseparable from the character Gracie brought to life, a character unlike any other at the time or since. The essence of Gracie's comedic style. Gracie Allen's comedic style was revolutionary in its simplicity and brilliance. She excelled at delivering lines that seemed nonsensical or lazy, but were carefully crafted to be clever and hilarious. Her character was often portrayed as scatterbrained or ditzy, but beneath that surface was a sharp wit and precise timing. This contrast created a unique space in comedy, where humor was both lighthearted and intellectually engaging. Her ability to speak illogical statements with total conviction became her signature trademark. She captured the audience by making the absurd feel genuine, which invited laughter not at her, but with her. This skill allowed Gracie to subvert typical comedic expectations and play with language and logic in ways few could pull off. Her charm and warmth made her endearing rather than a target of ridicule. Gracie's talent lay in turning a dumb character into a complex one filled with unexpected intelligence. Her performances challenged stereotypes about women in comedy at the time. Instead of relying on simple caricatures, she infused depth and style into the role, paving the way for future female comics to explore more nuanced characters. Her example broadened what was possible in comedic storytelling. The comedic timing Gracie displayed was impeccable, honed over years of vaudeville, radio, film, and television work. She knew exactly when to pause, when to emphasize a word, and how to build anticipation for a punchline. This sense of rhythm made her performances alive and engaging, holding the attention of audiences across mediums. Her timing was as much a part of the joke as the words themselves. Her interplay with George was an essential aspect of her style. George's straight-faced responses and subtle reactions amplified Gracie's humor. Their dynamic created a believable world where the improbable felt perfectly normal. The chemistry between the two was a textbook example of how two distinct personalities can balance and elevate each other's comedic presence. Gracie also had a knack for physical comedy, using gestures and expressions to underscore her verbal humor. Her body language often added layers to her character, making even silent moments funny and memorable. This physicality, combined with her verbal wit, formed a full comedic package that was distinctive and captivating. Her humor was, above all, accessible. She connected effortlessly with everyday people, making her comedy feel inclusive. This broad appeal helped the duo maintain popularity across diverse audiences, a feat not easily replicated in the entertainment world. Her ability to make audiences feel like insiders in the joke reinforced her lasting legacy. Their story of partnership, both personal and professional, continued to evolve beyond the styles and successes into the private realities of their marriage. Behind closed doors, their marriage dynamics. Gracie Allen and George Burns shared a marriage that went far beyond the spotlight and scripted performances. While their public personas showcased playful banter and comedic harmony, their private relationship was grounded in deep love, mutual respect, and unwavering support. George often described Gracie not for just her beauty, but for her intelligence and warmth, calling her the sexiest woman he ever knew. Their marriage was the quiet foundation beneath the laughter, a bond that sustained them through the pressures of show business and life's challenges. Despite the demands of their careers, Gracie and George made time for each other, finding joy in simple moments and shared humor. Their marriage was a partnership of equals, a meeting of minds and hearts. George's role as the straight man extended beyond the stage. He was her protector, confidant, and biggest fan. Gracie, in turn, leaned on George's steadiness for balance, trusting him implicitly both personally and professionally. The couple's close connection was kept largely private, cultivating an air of mystery that added to their allure. George was known to share intimate details only with close friends, often emphasizing the sacredness of their bond. This privacy shielded their relationship from outside pressures and allowed them to nurture their connection away from the public eye. It also fueled speculation and curiosity, as fans wondered what secrets lay behind their legendary chemistry. Years into their career, their marriage faced the same ups and downs as anyone's, yet they maintained a steadfast commitment. They openly supported each other's ambitions and respected the unique talents that each brought to the stage. This respect translated into creative synergy, where they encouraged risks and celebrated successes together. Their love was not fragile. It evolved and deepened alongside their careers. Their shared sense of humor was one of the strongest forces in their relationship. Laughter wasn't just their profession. It was the thread that wove their lives together. They found comfort in jest and relief in comic twists even during difficult times. This constant playfulness made their bond resilient, countering the harsh realities of fame and aging. George Burns never stopped praising Gracie's brilliance and charm, often crediting her for much of their success. He recognized her as his comedic muse, the spark that ignited their creativity and set their act apart. Their marriage was more than a union. It was a collaboration fueled by admiration and affection. They shared a language of laughter that no one else could replicate. At home, their relationship was warm and genuine, far removed from the exaggerated personalities they portrayed on stage. They cherished quiet evenings, deep conversations, and the comfort of familiar routines. This balance between public spectacle and private intimacy allowed them to recharge and face each new day with renewed strength. Their long-time marriage ultimately proved that love and partnership could thrive in Hollywood's spotlight without being consumed by it. They set an example for performers who followed, showing that authenticity and devotion could coexist with show business's glitz and demands. Their union became a quiet rebellion against the fleeting celebrity romances typical of their era. The strength of their marriage made Gracie's final years all the more poignant, a period marked by love as much as by loss. Gracie's final years and legacy. Gracie Allen's last years were marked by a gradual retreat from the spotlight, but her impact on comedy and entertainment continued to resonate deeply. She remained active in her career until health issues began to take their toll. Despite facing heart disease, Gracie's spirit and dedication never faltered. Her passing on August 27, 1964, was met with profound sadness from family, friends, and fans who cherished her contributions. Her death symbolized the end of an era, one defined by innocence, wit, and a laughter that bridged generations. Tributes poured in from comedians, entertainers, and the public alike, all acknowledging the immense void left by her absence. George Burns mourned deeply, recognizing not only the loss of his wife, but also of his lifelong partner and best friend. Their connection had been far more than professional. It was a shared journey marked by joy and resilience. After Gracie's passing, George dedicated himself to preserving her memory, often reminiscing about their years together and sharing stories that highlighted her brilliance and humor. His solo career took on a new dimension, honoring the legacy they created as a team. Through television appearances and public talks, George kept Gracie's spirit alive, reminding audiences of the unique woman behind the laughter. Gracie Allen's comedic style sort of stayed a landmark in American entertainment history. She had this thing about timing and delivery, and also a way to make something that looks plain turn into really clever humor. Honestly, it felt like she helped pave the road for the women in comedy that came after her. In her own way, she pushed back on old stereotypes because her scatterbrained persona wasn't actually empty at all. There was this layered intelligence and charm inside it, like hiding in plain sight. So the whole idea of what a female comedian should be started to shift, because she kept reshaping it in front of people. And her early influence in radio and television helped define the comedy duo format. That kind of choice showed up later in sitcoms and in comedy teams for decades. The George Burns and Gracie Allen show more or less became the benchmark for situational humor, mixing character-based jokes with these kinda sweet, heartfelt pauses. Plus, Gracie could slide across vaudeville, film, radio, and TV without sounding stuck in one mode, so her versatility was always there, and her appeal didn't fade. After she passed, people still honored her with an Emmy Award for her great television work, which felt like a proper tribute to both her talent and what she left behind. She and George also got inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame and the Television Hall of Fame, and that pretty much locked in their spot among comedy's best. Those recognitions show the long reach she had into the industry, and into audiences worldwide, too. Still, Gracie's legacy goes beyond awards and headlines. It's more like it stays in the laughter she set loose, the barriers she nudged aside for women in comedy, and the genuine partnership she had with George. Their whole story keeps showing up in people's minds, for anyone who loves humor, or even people who just believe in love that lasts, you know. Their story was never just about fame or fortune. It was about a love and partnership that transformed lives and comedy forever. The lasting truth about their love. The love shared between Gracie Allen and George Burns was a rare and remarkable partnership, one that transcended the typical bounds of show business marriages. Their story shows how genuine affection and mutual respect can create a foundation that not only supports but enhances both personal and professional success. They were not just colleagues or friends, They were soulmates who brought out the best in each other every day. Their relationship was a blend of laughter, trust, and deep understanding that lasted throughout their lives. Unlike many celebrity couples whose relationships crumble under pressure, Gracie and George's marriage thrived amidst the demands of constant performance and public scrutiny. They learned to balance their busy careers with their commitment to each other, revealing that love and work can coexist harmoniously when nurtured with care. Their enduring bond taught that partnership is about shared dreams and standing together, especially when facing challenges. This was one of the core reasons their comedy resonated so deeply. Their chemistry was felt because it was real. The private side of their relationship unveiled a warmth and tenderness, often hidden beneath the spotlight. George's devotion was evident not only in words, but in actions, as he cared for Gracie through health struggles and grief. Their marriage reflected partnership in the truest sense. Both gave and received support, celebrated joys, and weathered hardships together. It's this human connection that made their love story as compelling as their performances. They had this profound respect for each other's talents, which honestly was another kind of unique thing inside their love. George never tried to lessen Gracie's contributions, and he would often admit that her comic brilliance was basically the heart of what they did together. Gracie, for her part, seemed to trust George's steady guidance, and also that managerial expertise of his. So somehow their love grew and held up through that balance of appreciation and collaboration, and it kind of broke stereotypes about gender roles in marriage and show business too. And then, Gracie Allen's legacy, it's inseparable from the love she and George shared. Their union set this pretty high bar for what a lifelong partnership could actually resemble in entertainment, like a mix of joy, loyalty, and creative synergy. Their story keeps on inspiring couples and performers who want to hold on to personal happiness while still chasing professional ambition. They showed that love can be both profound and playful, like real strength and real laughter at the same time. Even decades after Gracie's passing, people still can't let go of the story of their marriage. It keeps captivating audiences and fans. It works as this reminder that behind every great artist, there's often a powerful, loving relationship fueling creativity and endurance, too. The truths of their marriage reveal not only the hard parts of life on stage, but also the victory of steadfast partnership. There's this timeless quality in their bond that keeps touching hearts. Their example kind of makes us rethink what truly sustains a relationship. Beyond grand gestures, beyond public displays, the lasting bonds are forged in small everyday acts of kindness, respect, and shared humor. Gracie and George's marriage says, enduring love is a quiet force that can light the path through both success and sorrow. Their partnership was basically proof that love can inspire art and elevate life, all at once. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the extraordinary life and love of Gracie Allen and George Burns. Their story reminds us that behind unforgettable comedy lies a powerful bond built on respect and laughter. If you enjoyed this look into their legacy, please like and subscribe for more inspiring stories from entertainment history.